Yo, what's up, friends and family? I'm just sitting here taking a break, contemplating on life, and you know, I'm getting ready to go to my next duty station, and I've been contemplating on a lot of things in my life now that I'm in my 30s, and I see all these videos with, David Goggins, you gotta go to the grind every day, man, and you have to work hard, and that's true. And then I see all these relationship videos like, hey bro, don't worry about women, man, just focus on you and being successful, and then you'll be happy. And I see these videos with same thing coming from some feminist. Hey, be a boss bitch, and do you, girl, you don't need no man, you can be independent. But I see all these people bragging about how hard they work and about how they don't need anybody, and how being successful and making this money or getting this degree is what validates them. But I see a pain behind all that, because I have certain validations in my life through my career and other things, but they don't really last. The times in my life where I felt most happiest is when, I was in a solid relationship, when I was, going to a family gathering and everybody there was just in a good mood, or when I'm on the phone with my best friend, Dakota Jernigan, and I know that this guy, I can trust him, and he has, the best interest looking out for me, and I feel the same way about him. It's those moments, man, where I want to be alive, especially as a man. When a man earns money and becomes successful, he thinks to himself, I can take care of a family, I can take care of a woman, I can take care of other people. But then whenever a woman gets successful, she thinks about how she can become independent. But regardless of motivations, all this talk about success and traveling and doing this and this and this, it's all just empty sort of jargon. And I guarantee you that all these people posting this are kidding themselves. What they really want is to come home at night and have that special someone laying next to them that they know loves them 1,000%, and they can trust them 1,000%. We live in this generation where we have easy access to sex through dating apps, but no one wants to commit, no one wants to get married, no one wants to be in a solid, committed relationship, and that's what people really want. And they're trying to mask that with all this, be successful, be on the grind, go to the gym, bro. Like, I love going to the gym. I love developing my body, being healthy, in good shape, but I don't care how big your muscles get or how great your six-pack's coming in. That loneliness and that longing to belong is not going to go away. Yes, having money, having a good, strong body, having a good career, all these things can make your life a little easier in some departments. It can help you cope. They're good coping mechanisms, but it doesn't solve the root problem, which is a lack of love. And this is something that my father, my earthly father, Ronald Stroud, preaches to me all the time, because he's pushing 70. My dad used to be very successful. At one point, he was earning $200,000 a year, and this is back in the 90s. And my dad didn't even graduate from high school. He started his own business from the ground up. We grew up poor, and then he slowly built that business up. But as he was coming up, he gave away most of his money to my mom and to other people who needed it. And then once my parents divorced, my dad lost everything, and now he's pretty poor. But he said, you know what? In some ways, I'm happier than I've ever been, because I know now that when people show me love, it's because it's me and not because of what I can give them. And that really hit hard for me, because we're sold this bill of goods that if you make this amount of money or you get this many followers on your Instagram or YouTube, then you'll be happy. But it's simply not true. You're just chasing an endless numbers. Oh, once I date this many girls, or once I make this amount of money, everything will just fall into place and I'll be happy. But it's not true. For me, what I found is real success is love and family. I value, or I measure the success of a country, of a nation, based on its divorce rates and its marriage rates. And people are getting divorced more than ever, and they're not getting married at the same time. People are not happy. They're distracting themselves. We're really good at distracting ourselves nowadays, but we're not good at pursuing long-term happiness, which is family, which is faith. I forgot to include that. That should be primary. Having a belief in something higher than yourself, whether it's Buddhism, Islam, Christianity, whatever it is, but having some sort of faith and spirituality is also very huge, because I have a belief in God. I believe in the one, the Creator. I believe in Him. I pray to Him. I read my Quran. I still read my Bible. And having a faith in God, knowing that I'm being led by God while simultaneously being tested by the devil, gives me a lot of perspective. And I think the Bible tells the truth when it says a man who finds a good woman finds favor in God, and a good woman is more rare than a ruby, especially in these days, man. Especially in these days, How do you expect to marry someone when their mind is so messed up after they've been in 100 relationships? And that goes for both men and women. Gender roles are all messed up. Men are struggling with what it means to be a man because they don't let us be protectors and providers anymore. And, and women, they say that they want to be an independent boss babe and this and that, but they still want a guy that's tall and strong and has good manners. It's like the world is all confused and twisted up and messed up, and it really gets me down sometimes. And sometimes I ask myself, what the hell am I fighting for? Why do I work so damn hard to come home to an empty house every night? Why do I work so damn hard to take these girls out on dates that don't want to get married? They don't want to have children. They don't want to, commit fully. What the hell am I really working for? And the only thing that I can come up with for right now, since I don't have my own family, is I'm working hard to not be a burden on society and to not be a burden on other people, and to bring honor upon my parents who sacrificed so that I could be fed and taken care of. I wish I could give my parents grandchildren. I wish I could continue the bloodline, but it's just hard to find a worthy candidate to do that. But at the very least, as a son, I have to, as a son and as a citizen of my country, I can't be a burden to others, and I've got to be useful. But I want to just sum up this video and say, you can get all the followers in the world, you can get all the money in the world, all the fame, and it's going to make you feel good here and there. But at the end of the day, and what does it mean when someone says at the end of the day? What I mean is, when you're done working, when it's time to go lay down in the bed, what kind of life do you want? Where you just scroll on Instagram and upload your travel pics? Or do you want to roll over and have someone kiss you and say, oh my God, I've missed you. I love you so much. And then you cuddle up with each other. And then you might hear your little son or daughter in the background saying, Daddy, yelling for you. That's a life. We work to live. We don't live to work. And people have gotten that backwards. Our generation is so traumatized because divorce and things were normalized back in the 90s, early 2000s. And our generation watched our parents fight. We watched them get subdued by social media. And we're doing the same things to ourselves now. So true happiness is faith and family. And take this as a lesson learned. As a guy that's in his 30s, I've partied. I've dated women. I've had money. I've had successful businesses. I've had thousands of dollars in my bank account, and I've had $0 in my bank account. And When I was at my highest in life, which is probably around 2014, I was doing real good. Had a nice car, all kinds of money. I'm doing pretty good now, but when I was at my highest in life, my happiest moments is when I was, with my significant others. And it's the same now. When I'm with people that I love and care about, and when I'm praying to God, and when I'm serving others. And I think that's why I joined the military, is because if I can't have a family, then maybe I can do something that's bigger than myself, and I can be a part of the security of my nation and other nations who are our allies, like South Korea. My grandfather was in the Korean War. I can continue his tradition. And I try to validate myself with my own personal mission, but I'll always consider myself to be a failure until I'm able to stabilize my own family as a man. And that's what I work towards every day. But I have to accept that, man, it just might not happen. So if it doesn't happen, then at the very least, I'm going to try to continue being a good man and not being a burden on society. This is the struggle of being a man, but just remember, guys, all this money and clout chasing and all this stuff, it's not going to help you when you're 60 years old. It might feel like it's important now because you're in your 20s, your 30s, your teenage years, whatever. But one day, man, you're just going to realize, like, what the hell have I been fighting for? And if it's not for your faith or your family, then you're wasting your fucking time.